So welcome back. How did you go in terms of looking at these service upgrades? No doubt there are one or two or three opportunities for you to improve the way you were doing things. You see, here's the thing. If we're doing a great job of marketing, if we're actually doing a great job of converting those leads into sales, we better make sure that we can deliver on the promises that we're making and consistently deliver a level of service that creates that raving fan and wow out there in the marketplace. So where have we come from? First of all, we said we need to get clear on expectations. Then we need to actually define the wow. From there, our service standards, which is actually documenting a set of standards as to the way we do the things we do. And then finally, consistency. Having consistency in there to ensure that we consistently deliver the result. So some keys to consistency. First is great people. You know what? You cannot replace great people in your business. Starting with great people is the seed of delivering great service. So therefore, how are you going about recruiting and making sure you keep great people in your team? Secondly is training. There is just no exception for great training in starting to deliver great people with a great result out there. And then the final thing are the systems in your business. How are the systems supporting the people deliver the result? Remember, humanize the 10% and systemize the 90% to really allow your business to flow and create a consistent result. Now, if you haven't already gone through the 10X systems, I'd strongly recommend that this supports the standards and supports consistency actually out there in the marketplace. There's a couple of more things in this particular learning insight I'd like to cover with you. The first one is, what is the lifetime value of a client? Now, lifetime value is very, very simple to work out. What you do is you have a look at your clients and what is their spend over the next 5 to 10 years, depending on your particular business. What you'll start to look at there is, rather than seeing a client as buying one-off as a one transaction, if the lifetime value might be, say, $10,000, $5,000, $50,000, you and your team need to start to see every single client in that particular way. Now, there is a formula in your workbook in terms of creating that. So you work out, number one, how many clients do you do business with? Secondly, in terms of what is your turnover per year in terms of revenue. We'll simply divide that. That will show you clearly the revenue per client. Great. Then multiply that by the next 5 years, or in your business, if you're more confident, the next 10 years, suddenly you've got a very, very good reference as to how your client value is looking. This is a great one to go back to your team and say, hey, this is the average value and the lifetime value of our client relationship. How are we going about creating that relationship and supporting that relationship? Now, I thought it would also be important here to share with you some of the reasons why customers actually leave. Let's have a look at them. Number one, 1% of them die. We can't really help that and can't do much about that. Secondly, 3% move out of the area. Well, once again, you can't do too much about that. If you're serving a client in this particular area, they move out, not a lot you can do. 5% are always seeking another alternative. They're on the hunt for something different. And 9% of people who leave a company actually have a friend in the business, so therefore they're more likely to use the friend than they are to utilise you. Okay, I'd like to suggest we can't do too much about these particular people. But let's have a look at some others in terms of why people leave. Next, 14% are actually dissatisfied with the product or service that was delivered to them. 14%. Add to that, believe it or not, 68% leave because they're upset by the treatment they received when they're buying a product or service. They didn't get what they wanted. They're just really upset with it. So if we add those two together, it comes up to a massive 82% of customer loss is actually preventable, either improving the product or service we're delivering or the treatment and the experience someone actually receives when they do business with you. So this is a huge statistic. Right now, just pause the DVD. Have you got some clarity as to how many clients you are losing? Secondly, have you got some ways of actually preventing that loss? Go to it right now.